Why don't we call this meeting to order? We'll call this meeting to order. And I think Joshua is already on the call.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, you'll be making the presentation, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I see you've grown your beard.
Yeah.
Good
No,
for you.
no shave November to heart. I'm gonna stick with it.
Good. It looks good.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's call this meeting to order.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a minute of silence. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
And we have no old business. Well,
Amen.
first of all, the September 28th minutes will be deferred, right, Brittany?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So we move on to old business. No old business. So let's go right to new business. And I will turn it over to Joshua.
You got me. Yeah.
Okay.
So what this is the in relation to the Standardization Act that was put into law a couple years ago. So every 2 years, we're going to have to update the rate class changes based off of the most recent IRS data that the Municipal Association provides, and that's what we're doing here. So these are state mandated changes that are part of an appendix that have to come to you guys.
Okay, and I went through, what you submitted to us. What is the difference?
So as far as revenue, there's virtually no difference, but so 74% of the businesses, there's no change at all.
Okay.
9% are going up. That's going to be our restaurants, breweries, manufacturing. They're going up one class, and then
Right.
17% are going down in rate class, and that's
Okay.
hotels, warehousing, administrative services.
Okay.
But as far as the revenue impact, there's little to none.
It sort of balances itself out.
Yeah, it's just a little over $1,000 actually once we ran the numbers based off of this year's revenue. So
Okay. Well, and you need a motion from us to send this forward to council. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Do I hear a second? Did I hear a second?
Yes.
Second,
Okay.
sorry.
Moved and properly.
I see two hands up, Councilman Baldwin and the mayor.
Okay. Thanks for that. Let's start with Councilman Bowden. Councilman Bowden.
Sure. I was just going to ask. I mean, sounds like we don't have much choice in doing this, but what would the can you give us an idea of what the increase would be like for restaurants?
yeah, so they're going from, let me pull it up real quick. They're going from a class 1 to a 2. So I want to say it's relatively small for them, but they go from the $5 base fee is an increase there, and then it's 40 cents per thousand of their gross revenue. Okay. So they were a rate class 2 before we did the previous change. So they're used to the 2. They went from a 2 to a 1. Now they're back at the 2.
Gotcha. I was curious because they're getting hit hard right now with all the liability insurance increases and stuff, but it doesn't sound like this is going to be very significant.
Any Mayor?
So, and Josh, that change for the restaurants, again, that's a statewide change. It's not something that's
That's correct. Yeah, every municipality in the state is going to have them at a rate class 2.
Yeah. So remind me, and I think I asked Amy this before, and I'm just not remembering right this second. Weren't we going to put in a different classification for accommodations in the city of Charleston that would be a little different from the rest?
Yeah, it's not going to be part of this one. We have someone from UNICAP working on a study for us that has to go first. So we met with Julia and Amy. We all met with them, and it's not quite ready. So we're looking at next year for that.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Any more questions or discussions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Is there anything else to come before this committee?
Mr. Mayor,
If not,
Mr. Mayor has
Mayor,
something.
Mr.
Mayor?
Chairman, while we got Josh here, we don't see him very often, because this committee doesn't have to meet very often. I just was curious, Josh, how you felt now that you've got a year or two under your belt since we went to that kind of statewide system and all, just your general impression on how well that went. And
Yeah, I mean, it went pretty smoothly. We didn't really have any questions from businesses. It's a little difficult administratively doing this every 2 years, having to change the class, figure out what the revenue impact. But as far as our daily operations, it's gone well.
okay, and the timing of the the fees are due later in the year now. We used to collect them in January. I think they're
Yes.
April. Now all that's cash flow and
Yeah,
everything. Okay.
that worked out. We just have to have this ratified by state law by the end of the year is the reason we're bringing it now. But yeah, you're right. It's not taking place till May that this will
Yeah.
affect anyone.
But year to year, we collect our money a little later is what I'm saying on the cash
That's-
flow.
That's correct.
That's
Yeah,
maybe,
but it hasn't really affected us. This is our highest year of collections yet, and we had the April to May year this year, so we haven't seen an impact as far as revenue, the revenue stream yet.
and
And
then,
then there, as far as cash flow goes for the citywide, it's not really affecting us either because our property taxes come in. If it happened, so it was later in the year, it might have had an impact, but being only a couple months later than we normally collected it, it's not having an impact.
I got you. It kind of spreads your cash flow around a little bit, maybe your income. So, the last question, how many people now? I mean, I remember when I used to fill out my annual business license form for the city of Charleston, and you do your numbers, send it in mail. How many people are applying and taking care of everything online now versus the old fashioned way?
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers, but it's substantially more than COVID. I mean, COVID kind of switched how we do business, switched how the business owners like to do business. So we're seeing much more online. But I could get those numbers, the exact numbers to you if you'd like. But it's definitely a noticeable difference.
Yeah, just a ballpark would be fine.
I'd hate to give you, but I would say probably not half yet. We'd like to get it over 50%, but I'd say 35-40% are doing it online. We definitely do not see the lines out the door anymore. And the mail's processed within 2 days of receiving it. So it's a lot easier on staff.
That's great. That's great.
I thought it was around 40%.
About 40%? Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you, Josh. Appreciate that update.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Any other questions? And we did vote on this, right?
We did.
Already.
Yes.
And if there is nothing else to come before this committee, everyone have a great holiday. Enjoy. See you guys tomorrow.
Holidays already?
Yes, it is. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay.
Just have a good one.